This show is brought to you by Blue Apron. Blue Apron sends gourmet recipes and all the fresh ingredients you need to make them right to your door. To see what's on the menu this week, visit blueapron.com. And our listeners get their first 2 meals for free. Just go to blueapron.com/screenplay. Again, that's blueapron.com/screenplay.
Hey there, everybody. You know what that sound is? It sounds like 2 Transformers humping. It must be the opening of Screenplay. Thanks for hanging out. Before I introduce everyone on our show today, let's go ahead into the video store with Mr. Joey Aranda. Joey, say hello.
What's going on, guys?
Hi, Joey.
Oh, love you too, Blaine.
High energy for Mr. Joey Aranda. He'll be over there keeping us in the know and letting us know little trivia tidbits along the way of the show. Today we're joined by Mr. Blaine. He is a good-looking dude, and he is single and likes long walks on the beach. But he's also a Rooster Teeth casting crew. Next to him, we have Chris Demarais. He is an archaeologist, or so he told me to say he was. And next to him, we have Miss Arryn Zech. She is the voice of Blake on Ruby, as well as Dr. Emily Gray. And as she told me before the show started, don't Google Emily Gray, because you will find porn star photos.
Not of her.
Not of her.
But of an actual porn star.
The fans are like,
it was so disappointing.
who are you?
And I'm JJ. I'm the host of Screenplay, and I hang out
Nice
at Rooster
Ghostbusters
Teeth
shirt.
sometimes. Thanks for. I like.
Did
it.
you watch it
show up?
recently? Because the 30th year was up.
Oh yeah, was it 30 years of
Was it 30?
Ghostbusters? Something like that.
20. It's 30.
It might be 20.
Yeah.
I don't know, but yes, I stole this from a really awful ex-girlfriend, and it's the best thing I got out of
She
that
deserved
relationship. Oh, she was awful.
I got PJ bottoms once.
You got from a relationship?
Yeah, clothing is the best thing to get out of like ex relationships.
What's the coolest thing you've ever gotten from a relationship from that you stole or kept with you?
Oh, I mean, all the STDs, you know. The
So
big
many good
the
ones. So
clap.
many good ones.
I've lost a lot of T-shirts and socks because I have a lot of cool socks, but I've kept a lot of cool CDs.
I lost my lucky shirt, but she was nice enough to give it back.
Yeah,
And
y'all
so I
are
still have
the
it.
guys.
Let me think.
I'm the one that takes the stuff.
Yeah.
Y'all lose
I got a
the
really
stuff.
soft blanket. Soft.
Wait,
It's comfy. It's on my couch.
that's really weird.
I have a Ghostbusters
So, like-
belt buckle. I should have worn it.
Nice.
Nah, I didn't wear it.
So we always have a movie book club of that we talk about a film every episode. So at the end of today's show, we're going to talk about Face Off. We're going to talk about John Woo's first American film is called Face Off, and we'll be touching each other's faces throughout the entire show.
JJ caught me. I was walking somewhere, and just this hand just went, "Bleh," and like you stuck a finger in my mouth, and you like dragged my lip down. I was like, oh.
If you don't know what we're talking about in Face Off, there's so many scenes where people put their hands over someone's face and just drag it down.
Well,
I
that's
don't
like
understand it.
it's the family's way of like saying that they love
Each
the
other.
Yeah, each other.
Yeah.
He did it to the random kid at the very end of the movie. There's
Right,
this little
because
boy,
like,
and
well,
she
she
just
held
goes,
him.
"Let's go
Save
see
it.
a
Oh my
room."
God, that ending.
We'll talk about it in due time.
Jeez
We'll talk about it in due time.
Christ.
So the reason I bring up the movie book club is that every week I pick a film, but this week I've got 2 films that are very, very different, and I'm going to let you, the audience that are on Twitter right now, tweet us at Screenplay, #Screenplay. Let us know which ones you want to see. So I have two films. All right, there's movie 1. It's a film masterpiece. It's beautiful music, amazing acting, great shots, just timeless, awesome, awesome movie. Came out in the last 5 years or so. That's movie 1. So if you want to see that, tweet that with movie 1 in your hashtag. All right, movie 2 is a terrifying, scary film. It's similar to Cloverfield, kind of like a lost footage, kind of like a found footage kind of film. And not many people know about it. Both of these films are available on the internet. And that's movie 2. So movie 1, really good, kind of artsy film. Movie 2 is a scary movie. So tweet at us at Screenplay which film you, the audience, want to check out.
So we don't know what you know what they are.
I know what they are.
Do you know what they are?
No.
I don't know what they are.
I was not prepared
At first,
for
I
this.
thought the name of the movie was Movie 1. I was like,
Yeah.
that's a weird
wow, that
name
sounds-
for a movie.
yeah. Sounds pretty good.
We're slowly moving up to movie 43, which isn't that good. So going in the vein of my shirt, which Ghostbusters is a huge part of my growing up and love for movies. I'm sure it is for you guys. So they've been talking about doing this Ghostbusters 3 for a long time, or revamping Ghostbusters in general. And now Paul Feig, who directed, who I'll always remember as the skinny counselor in Heavyweights, but he's also the director of like Bridesmaids and all those Melissa McCarthy movies, Heat or The Heat, you know. So he's up to be the director for the next Ghostbusters 3. So now everyone's saying that it should be a female-led Ghostbusters. Mm-hmm. And Bill Murray came out and said that I'm for it. I would watch that movie. And he even listed the people he wants to see.
Yeah, and I think
you know what I think about that? It's because he's like, They're not asking me to do it. Thank God. Yeah, I'm all for them.
I'm all for it.
All the females, it could be babies. I don't care as long as they don't want me to do
Dog,
it.
Ghostbusters, Airbud,
Yeah,
Ghostbusters.
That's a good point because I was wondering like why he has had nothing to do with Ghostbusters 3 until this point.
Yeah,
Now he's
because they
figured it
aren't
out.
asking him to do it.
Yeah.
It's like,
Well, who was his cast?
So his cast was
Emma Stone.
Melissa McCarthy,
Kristen Wiig.
Yeah,
Kristen
Kristen
Wiig, and then Linda Cardellini, who's not really a name anymore, but she used to be. She was on ER, but before that, she was
Freaks and Geeks.
Freaks and
She was
Geeks.
Freaks and Geeks. She was
Yeah.
Weir.
Yeah.
Lindsay Weir.
Lindsay Weir.
Yeah.
You know, she was older than everyone on that show.
Oh, she was also in Mad Men.
Yeah, recently.
Yeah.
She's the girl that has a relationship with John Hamm.
Yeah.
No spoilers. Melissa McCarthy and Bill Murray. What's that movie?
Saint Vincent?
Saint Vincent. Did you see the clip on IMDb the other day?
I did. I also read this article where the director was talking about how hard it was to how interesting it is trying to get Bill Murray to be in your movie.
I wonder how hard he is to work with.
I'm sure he's great. I read that I was reading this thing about the Royal Tenenbaums because Wes Anderson always works with Bill Murray, and I was reading that Wes Anderson was like saying that like the hardest person to work with or like was Gene Hackman. Like apparently, like when they were doing the Royal Tenenbaums, Gene Hackman always tell Wes Anderson on set to like pull up his pants and act like a man, and just like and get in people's faces because Wes Anderson was still really young to filmmaking
Yeah.
at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like he was just like I was in the French Connection or whatever or the Conversation.
This is kind of an aside. Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, if Gene Hackman told me I'd pull my pants up.
Yeah.
I'd be like, all right, yes, sir.
Fucking voice.
He's
Sorry.
a great actor,
He's
but
Luther.
frightening.
Yeah.
He's a little frightening.
He seems like one of those ones like Ed Harris. I would shit my pants if I saw Ed Harris.
Have you seen that footage of him like losing his shit?
Well, is it real? Like
Yeah,
Christian Bale.
no. It's like Ed Harris. Yeah, it's like on The Rock and stuff, where he's like doing his scene, and either the camera mess up or he'll forget his lines. And there's this press conference when they're doing History of Violence.
Yeah.
And like it's like Viggo Mortensen and then and David Cronenberg. And they're talking about History of Violence, and like it's like French and panel, and it's all French, and they're all having a good time. And Ed Harris is just sitting there, and he's stewing. And they're like, "What do you think?" And he's like, "Whatever." And he's like, "Oh no, you mean about violence?" And he starts hitting the table like that. And he gets his mug and he throws it against the wall and it shatters and everyone just gets up from the panel and walks away.
Ed Harris.
Ed Harris apparently is fucking
Nuts.
crazy.
I always like him though.
No, he's great.
Yeah. I was gonna say it was a quick aside. And I don't know if we talked about this on the podcast or anything. Have you guys ever heard of Bill Murray can crash here parties?
You mean when he crashes house parties and stuff?
Yeah. So there's
Yeah.
this thing that what you do is you host a party and then you market it as Bill Murray can crash here or something like that. But basically, you just put posters out everywhere. You put it all over social network and just like everything. And you just have this big party. And then sometimes Bill Murray crashes the party. And he just like shows up. And this has happened in Austin, I think, before.
Yeah.
And he just shows up. Like
We should,
He'd been doing that
guys.
for a while.
We should,
We
do
should
that.
have a
Yeah.
party.
Rooster Teeth Bill Murray crash here party.
He'd been doing that. He would just like in New York or LA or something, he would just see that someone was doing something and then just pop into their apartment.
And who's gonna say no
worries.
to
Yeah,
Bill
right?
fucking Murray? Sorry to
I
quote
wouldn't.
Zombieland.
The
but-
last time I think in Austin there was like literally like 12 or 14 different parties all claiming to be Bill Murray crashing. No, he never showed up. He
Yeah.
wasn't scheduled to be in town. People do it at this point now. It's almost like an urban like legend, like a myth.
Yeah.
Like these like Bill Murray
You say it 3
stories.
times
Stole
into a
my
mirror.
fries.
Like you hear that story about him, how he like people are eating outside in New
Yeah.
York, and he comes up and take fries and dip in their ketchup and be like, no one's gonna believe you, and like
my
just
God,
these
that's-
crazy. But and then like I've seen pictures. It was at Shangri-La. I think it was at Shangri-La here in Austin when during South by he just jumped behind the bar
Yeah.
and started. My friends were bartending. And they told me the story, and then he was just like, no matter what anyone ordered, he'd give them whiskey. They'd
Yeah.
be like, I'll take. He'd be like, I want a Lone Star, I want a 512 IP. He'd be like, here you go, and just give them whiskey.
That is awesome. Harrison Ford did that once. I saw a picture of him just like serving up drinks to these college kids, and the thing was Han Yolo.
Yeah.
Dude, oh man, I want to be that big of a thing where you could just show up and
And
people
just
are just
do
like,
whatever.
Okay,
Like
wait.
that.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
It's that almost famous kind of jumping off the roof, hanging out with high school kids.
There was a celebrity that just bit him in the ass. They tried to. It was the guy. He was the big brother who played Racer X and Speed Racer. The Wishmaster
Oh,
Speed
Matthew
Racer.
Fox.
Yeah, he was in. He tried to go.
Lost.
He tried to crash a bus party or
Yeah.
something, and they just
He punched somebody, right?
yeah. The driver like started fisticuffs and then he punched her or something.
It was a woman driver too.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Jack from Lost.
What?
Tried to crash a bus party and then they're just like they're
They're
like,
like,
get the fuck out of here.
Go
Who
back
are
to your
you?
island.
He's
Yeah.
like, we have to go back.
I always,
Bill Murray.
I always find it funny when celebrities get told no. Like recently, like Emma Roberts tried to cut a huge line to get some exclusive donuts or whatever, and she was told no, and she just like frummed her way away, and I was,
Yeah.
screw you, Emma
Your people
Roberts.
too.
I'd love for like to have like Matthew Fox in my car, like leaving like a party, and like a drunk Matthew Fox who left his cell phone, and he's like, "We have to go back. I left my cell phone. It's got my
JJ, you're like, yes!
It's got my nudes." Well, you know, it's funny about that because you know Jenny, my girlfriend. She worked at for the longest time. She worked at that candy store on South Congress. It's really well
Top
known.
shop- Top
Yeah,
Cap-
a big
no,
top candy shop. It looks
yeah.
like an old kind of steampunk circus kind of candy
Soda
store.
jerks.
Yeah. What? No. Oh, what? No.
Isn't that what you do when you make
Oh,
you're a soda jerk?
A soda jerk.
Yeah.
I think you said circle jerks.
No, soda jerks.
I was like,
when
no,
you,
we're not
when
playing
you make,
the Limp Bizkit game.
You make little sodas and you
Yeah.
spin them around and
Well, celebrities
Like
always,
malts.
since it's right on South Congress, celebrities would always come in and window shop and come in and check it out and get candies.
Yeah.
And she said at one point that Ethan Hawke was in there and there was like a big line.
Oh shit.
And this was years back, and he just
Don't
had
say
like
anything bad.
he had like a handful of like kind of pocket candies, nothing like too big of packs. And he just like went up and there was a huge line. He was just like, "Can I just take these and go?"
I love him in the whole like Before Sunset and
Oh, all those
those.
Linklater movies.
Ooh, and Taking Lives, what a creep.
What was he was in that vampire movie that was?
Daybreakers or something.
Yeah, what was his deal? Didn't he
never saw
like
it.
he dated Uma Thurman and he like cheated on her or something like that?
Yeah, is he the one who cheated? I can't forget if it's Ethan Hawke or Jude Law that cheated on his chick with the babysitter. I think it was Ethan Hawke.
Sounds like a Jude Law thing.
Was it?
Yeah.
Or you could be like
Hawke?
Schwarzenegger.
Well, then Jude Law got in trouble
Yeah.
because he was having like
Kid.
an ecstasy party at his house, and then one of the pills just like I guess when you're that rich you just have so much ecstasy, and one of the pills was on the ground and his baby ate it, and he had to take the baby to the hospital.
Baby's
Oh my
tripping
God.
balls,
But
man.
y'all don't have ecstasy parties?
Oh, totally.
I haven't had one in. It's been a couple weeks.
It's been a couple of
only,
hours.
only when I
It's
babysit.
It's been like
Yeah.
2 or 3 o'clock.
We're inviting Bill Murray to the next one.
Yeah.
All right. So there's 3 new Terminator movies coming out from now to 2018.
Heard that.
And they all have that stupid fucking subtitle, Genesis.
Genesis, yeah.
Not Genesis. It's Gen like ISYS.
Yeah.
They made up a word.
I heard
Bye.
the theory behind it. It's something to do with genes and systems, or I can't remember. Fucking remember.
So
really done with
is Arnold
Terminator?
playing the Terminator?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's behind the scenes photos of him. He's not wearing the leather. He's wearing like a olive camo like army man jacket, but he's got the same hair from the old Terminators. I'm
Nice.
fucking pumped. I don't
He's wearing
care.
like an
Well,
old man
immediately-
onesie.
Well,
Who is it?
it's weird because apparently the story is that the Terminators. So, and this is true. They're cyborgs, so they're like a robot on the inside, but they have living human flesh on the outside. So they age like normal humans. So he's still
How
like
convenient.
yeah, right. So he's still a Terminator, but he's like old. So he's like, but that's cool though because then it makes you think like, well, then this Terminator, he's still in his prime. He could still kick ass because it's his interior, just the exterior that looks shitty.
Terminators
He's
are just like
he's got
us.
old man strength,
Yeah,
but Terminator
I
stuff.
love, I love this Skynet like scientist who's like, we've got the technology now to give our Terminators man boobs.
Hey, Arnold's looking all right. Although, man, you can tell that those years of, I guess, steroid use and just like bodybuilding have taken their toll. His chest is like massive still, but the rest of him is like kind of shrunken.
Yeah,
so he
he's-
just
he's
looks
an
like
older
this.
guy.
Like,
He's allowed to get old.
yeah.
Well, I told you I got to meet him when I was shooting when I was doing PR videos for,
bitch.
and I was doing some stuff at the Alamo Draft House, and him and Johnny Knoxville showed up for a surprise for The Last Stand, I think.
Yeah.
And they just came in through the back door. And Knoxville's tall and he's charismatic. He's real funny. Schwarzenegger, I was bummed out because I'm taller than him, and I'm a tall guy. I'm like 6'1", but like Arnold's short, I've got like at least 4 or 5 inches on him.
They
That's
shoot
always
him.
the case, though.
It'd almost be like, this just isn't the same. Can you go back? And
Yeah,
just
can
go
you
back?
come back on stilts?
They
You
shoot
can't
him-
disappoint a photograph.
They shoot him well then, because he
Totally.
always looks fucking massive.
Totally.
There's a photo of him and Andre the Giant. I think it's Andre the Giant. There's like, or is it, it's not Lou Ferrigno. He's standing next to these 2 dudes that are just like this tower over him. They make Arnold look like a
When
midget.
he was Hercules? Am I thinking of him?
Oh, when he was Conan. Yeah, he's all
no, it
Conan'd
was
out.
Andre. Yeah.
And then there's like these 2 other
Hercules.
massive
That's
guys
Kevin
that are next to him.
Sorbo. Aaron, what's wrong with you?
Disappointed.
Hey, man. All right, you can go. I'm not welcoming fans to do this, but you could go into my office right now. What are my 2 wallpapers, guys?
One is your biceps, and another one is your.
It's Arnold
My
at one of the
quads.
Mr. Olympians looking out at the crowd,
that's
and then
right.
there's another one where it's Terminator. I fucking love Arnold.
Oh, it's true. It is Terminator.
However old he's gotten and stuff like that, he's still the best. Arnold's the best.
That's funny.
I love Arnold.
If you know and got my disappointed reference, you must know it's a scene from Hercules with Kevin Sorbo where he read the stage direction on his script.
He was,
like
yeah.
it said look disappointed or say this word disappointed, and he got confused, so he just looks at the camera and goes, disappointed.
Yeah, the line was like, "This isn't my home" or something, and then it said "disappointed," and then he just bust out with
So
it.
like Google,
It's in all caps, too.
Yeah.
You got to Google like Hercules and disappointed. You'll find it very quickly. It's so fucking funny. It just shows you like these fucking actors, man. There's nothing up there.
I still love Kevin Sorbo though. I got to meet him
Yeah?
at Austin Comic Con a long time ago.
Yeah.
I grew up with him with my mom.
Biggest
Hercules and Xena.
That's
Biggest
right.
celebrity that you've met?
Danny Radcliffe. I touched him.
Oh, wow.
Wow, that's a big deal.
He was
I
short
want to touch
too.
the hand that touched the hand.
He is a short.
Well, I just
I think we like touched arms though. He want to like rub my shoulder. Yeah.
Who'd you meet? Who's your big celebrity?
Elijah Wood.
Oh yeah,
cool.
screw
Oh,
you.
yeah.
He's tiny too.
Yeah, you
though.
had like hands on with him. But he's red versus blue. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Not like,
weird.
well,
yeah, we've all
Two
hung
hands.
out.
Two
JJ,
hands.
how about yours?
It's tough because I did a lot of PR videos for a long time, so I got to meet a lot of cool people in passing. I got to have like lunch with Danny Boyle at one point, which was cool.
You always tell me these crazy stories of these like
But,
tons of celebrities you met.
It's interesting. John Boone. I'm just ruining his name. The guy who directed Snowpiercer. Like, got to meet him at a screening. I got to ride that train with him. I don't know because like there's actors and there's directors. I would probably say it's
The one that hit you the hardest.
No, okay, I'm gonna name this one because it was the most like fun and not like professional situation. Was like getting really buzzed and getting into legal activities with Tarantino. Like whenever we
What?
watched his personal print of Carrie on 35mm at the Draft House, the old Draft House before they closed it down.
Yeah.
Like I accidentally sat next to him, not knowing that that's where he was sitting in the theater. And so every now and then, like he went up and did the whole spiel where he was like, "This is Carrie's 35mm print. This is John Travolta was the welcome back card. It was a big deal, you know." Like so he's doing his whole spiel, and then comes and sits down like right next to me, next to these really really hot Asian girls, by the way.
Yeah.
And like things are happening. There's smoke and there's crazy stuff going on. Like no one's telling him shit because it's Tarantino. But the greatest thing was every now and then something really funny or fucked up would happen in Carrie, and he would do his Tarantino laugh, and he would look at his right, and then look at his left, and be like.
You'd be like,
And I'd be at his left, so I'd like contact him and be like, "I know, it's so funny," and then he'd turn around and be like, "Oh my god," you know. So that was probably from a film fanatic point of view. It was like this highlight of my life.
That's huge. I met Wahlberg when I was in high school.
That's cool.
Oh yeah.
I was slightly taller than him, but
Really?
I still, yeah.
You're not even that tall.
I know. He was like, shut the fuck up. He was like 5'6" or 5'8" or something. And then I've seen Anthony Daniels did 3PO, and then I did fucking what's that guy's name? The guy that did Chewbacca.
Oh, the tall guy.
That's the one.
Oh, Peter.
Yeah.
Mayhew, right? Or-
Mayhew. That's right. Peter Mayhew. God, I forget that. He was at a
Okay.
movie theater. Man, Peter Mayhew. It kind of sucks.
Well, you know, it kind of sucks to sit behind him. At a movie theater. It's like, God damn it, Chewbacca.
It's kind of shitty because he makes the rounds to conventions and he charges out the ass for
Yeah.
autographs. Which is,
A lot of them do that though.
yeah.
They were there at the Austin Comic Con too with the kid who played Anakin Skywalker, who, by the way, is kind of an asshole
Jake
now.
Lloyd.
Oh,
He
yeah,
hates
yeah.
his life.
Yeah.
But he still does the whole.
He does. He goes
convention
and
thing.
he'll be
Weird.
there, but he will not enjoy
He's not
himself.
happy
Hey,
about
I
Meg.
will be here, but I will not be happy
Dude
about
from
it.
Walking Dead that you met, that you did that thing with.
The little kid?
I just met Norman Reedus.
Yondu.
Michael Rooker.
Michael Rooker.
Yeah, right.
Michael Rooker,
He's a perv.
he was out at the Austin Comic Con or something like that when something else, an event was going on. He just like walked by a line of people and I was in it and he was just like, Michael Rooker, and he just like started talking to us and I like, oh, you know, he was just like hanging out with fans. It's cool.
That's cool.
He seems like a nice guy.
I was always super envious about Miles whenever he worked at Texas Student Television because he did Sneak Peek.
Yeah.
So he got to meet the cast of Zombieland and he got to meet
Oh,
the
that's
cast of
cool.
Scott Pilgrim and apparently, oh gosh,
So you get to meet Woody Harrelson.
Woody Harrelson's an asshole.
No.
Do you really, after the whole Reddit fiasco, you didn't think that
I haven't
he
heard
would-
anything about the Reddit.
Oh,
Well,
well,
That wasn't his fault. I feel like that
It
was.
was
I feel like
PR.
the
It was a
PR
PR
person
thing,
didn't
yeah.
explain to him what
But-
Reddit was.
he wasn't the
That
nicest person.
Sounds like a
You know, I
nightmare.
don't care. He could be an asshole he wants. Have you seen
He's
Ashbourne
good.
Killers? That fucking
no, he's
movie
good.
is
He's
amazing.
excellent. You can be a really great, fantastic, talented at whatever you do and just still be a dick.
There was a
Kanye
movie,
West.
Out of the Furnace, with Christian Bale, Casey Affleck, and Woody Harrelson's in it. He's a prick. in that movie.
Who,
like,
Woody Harrelson?
Yeah, like I walked out of that and I was like, I don't like Woody Harrelson as much anymore. He was such a bad guy. I'm sorry.
That's such a
Oh no, it's
bummer.
fine. Okay, so this past weekend, I think it was this past weekend, they re-released a movie I never thought they would re-release in IMAX. Like, I understand why you re-release Jurassic Park. I understand why you re-release like Titanic in 3D and stuff and IMAX experiences. They re-released and it bombed. It bombed so bad. It made, I think, something between like 17 or 18 tickets were sold at each screening.
Oof.
I mean, not at each screening, at each location that it was playing. Like maybe 17, 18 tickets were sold.
Yeah.
Forrest Gump got re-released on IMAX this past weekend, and I was reading on Reddit, and it bombed big time. And my whole thing is like, of course it fucking did. You know, like, don't get me wrong, I love Forrest Gump, but it's
Whoa.
Such a good movie.
no,
Yeah,
I'm
it's
saying
good, it's good.
I love Forrest Gump. I'm just saying that
I love that scene.
it's on TV
Yeah,
all the
it plays
time.
daytime
They,
television.
they play it in schools when there's nothing to do all the time.
I
What
love
school did
quoting
you
the
go to?
movies.
Ours was National Treasure. That's the movie that they like always played.
I've never
at
seen
school.
that movie.
We got Shuck a lot.
We watched
Nicolas
Lion
Cage.
King
Who's
a
the
lot.
worst?
Nicolas Cage of Face Off fame.
What do you think though about re-releasing Forrest Gump, it bombing, and people being surprised?
I think it's hard because that's a movie that they constantly show on television. Like you always see it on TV. And it's also like, I'm not saying it's losing its relevance, but like back in the 90s, that movie was like fucking, you know, to quote Gavin, top. I don't know why. It was just like, it was just super relevant at the time. I don't know.
It's a super quotable movie.
I don't know if
love
it has that quintessential theater experience movie.
It doesn't.
You know,
I mean,
because
it's cool for what it does.
It's like
It's so long.
people talking, and you know, it's not like you were saying Jurassic Park, where it's like dinosaurs rumbling around and water
Yeah.
shaking and
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
There's
Aaron.
a sense of nostalgia, I think, with certain films. And as much as I really do love Forrest Gump, because I love Tom Hanks and I think it's a beautiful movie, but
Yeah.
it just doesn't have the same feeling
that's
yeah. Because it's so done. Like, it's so...
Yeah.
It's almost like
Constantly
it's almost
viewed.
like Gone with the Wind or the Beatles or the Bible at this point, where it's so glossed over that people don't realize like the impact that and it
I mean,
intentionally
because
Yeah.
it really
had.
it's an awesome movie.
No, it's
It
a re-
is.
it's,
No,
it-
yeah.
it's a great movie. I mean, it's Zemeckis probably at his top, not counting Who Framed Roger Rabbit, because that movie's fucking awesome. But you know, and then Back to the Future movie's really good. But like that was a really, and especially for the things that they did, like you know him like shaking like JFK's hand and all these things that were really early in special effects stages, like really nuanced CGI. But like when I think of Forrest Gump, like there's not a scene in the movie where I'm like, oh, I've got to see this on IMAX screen.
I was gonna say the only scene that I can think of in Forrest Gump would be the Vietnam one, where he's running and the bombs or the napalm's exploding behind
Yeah.
him. That's the only like IMAX worthy scene.
But here's the thing: is
and maybe the football stadium.
I love
was
Forrest
running.
Gump. I love the soundtrack. I love the performances. I love the whole story it tells. Do I want to pay $18 to see it on IMAX screen? No, I don't.
No.
How are we on time?
We're
I wanna
doing good.
present
We're
a
doing
question.
fine. We're doing fine.
What is a movie that you would love to see IMAX?
Well, really quick before we say that, I just want to say that my dad was a shrimpo captain my whole life. So the fact
me
that
this.
so Forrest
So
Gump
random.
so Forrest Gump holds a very like
so
solid
you're like
hold on
Baby
me.
Forrest then.
No, my
Guys used to play
my
ping
father
pong?
is not slow.
and your mom didn't die of AIDS.
Yeah, my father was of normal intelligence.
You know, I just connected the dots. She was the chick in Princess Bride.
Yeah.
God, she was beautiful.
Okay, so
Yeah.
what was the question? What movie would I want to see?
What
on the-
movie would you want to see have them come
Ooh,
to IMAX?
Anyone else? Like, give me a second
Empire
here.
Strikes Back.
That wasn't released, like, because I think Pacific Rim was already released IMAX.
I'm just saying, like, what? Okay,
Like
you
an
have
iconic
Oh,
movie
like
from the
iconic
past.
movies.
none of that. Just like you
Any
have,
movie.
you can go to an IMAX theater and have it all to yourself, and you can watch one movie in this IMAX theater. What would you want to see? I would want to see Empire Strikes Back.
Die Hard.
Fuck yeah, yeah, man. It's such a good movie.
Probably something Gilliam, you know, like just because it would look so crazy, like either like 12 Monkeys or Brazil or like Fear and Loathing, just because
Yeah.
those angles that he uses the wacky 12 millimeter, or even
Yeah.
the Imaginarium of Dr. Panoceros, which was like has some really cool stuff.
Always
in it.
got Gilliam running on your screen.
I love Gilliam.
He's
Yeah,
crazy.
I'm always playing it on my
Aaron,
computer.
what would
I
you-
think I'd be super lame and just watch Moulin Rouge.
That's not lame.
that's
that's-
such a visual and pretty.
I know.
movie.
I love that movie.
and to hear that
It's
soundtrack like
just
blasting.
so
I
so vibrant and quick and fast.
You and
there's
Miles
always
would be up in the
something
front
new.
making out, and I would be in the back like, "This is fun."
This is so cool.
I would go.
because I can.
I've only ever seen, I think, one or two movies on IMAX, and one of them was that like Mount Everest movie, and it just made me nauseous.
Yeah.
There's some
You're like-
movies that shouldn't be seen. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No,
no one ever saw
just
that.
too much Too high up?
It was the worst.
Like
no,
those
I was
IMAX
just like
movies?
too close to my face.
They
and
depleted
I
the
was just-
oxygen in the theater to
Yeah,
make
to-
it
Yeah, it was a
Yeah.
real experience.
You ever had to a Sherpa bring you popcorn?
Have you guys ever seen
Got
that
my
movie?
yak.
Have you ever seen that movie Alive? About like the rugby or is it the soccer team that gets like stuck in the mountains on a plane and they have to eat each other?
The soccer team, and they
No.
do. It's based on a true story.
It's a true story.
Is it really?
of cannibalism.
That is like that's like a classic tale of man eats man.
It's a classic tale of
classic.
man,
Like Donner Party.
Man, man meets woman, eats woman.
It's like
It sounds horrible.
Yeah.
what's that book? I'm really good on my literature right now.
Yeah.
Oh well, just to stay current, because this just happened before we did the
Campbell's?
No, before we did the shoot, before we started screenplay today. Like literally, what just happened from while we walked over here is Apple announced their watch.
Yeah.
And so it's a really big, expensive watch, and I had to tweet a picture of Christopher Walken with this watch, Butch. This watch.
What was it for?
Up my ass.
For 4 years, this uncomfortable hunk of metal was shoved up my ass.
So like these watches are going for like $399. They're like $400, and you know at some point someone's gonna like get mugged or there's gonna be some sort of situation they're gonna have to put that watch up their ass. It's gonna happen, and I can't.
I don't know if it
fucking
would. I don't know if it would preserve very well.
$350
This watch, Butch, tells me my heart rate, Butch, in my iTunes.
God, what a great scene.
I love that.
There was one time I was watching Pulp Fiction and I completely forgot about that scene.
And then it
And when
showed
I
up.
saw it, it was like I had seen it for the first time again. I was like, this is so good.
Well, there's the Tarantino wrote that scene. He wrote was it True Romance? And there's that really amazing scene between Walken and Dennis Hopper, where like Dennis Hopper's telling him like the history of Sicilians, and he's like telling like Italians and like how they came to be, and it's really fucking offensive, but it's so funny. I'd quote it, but I get in trouble.
He's moving forward with Hateful Eight.
Yeah, of
He
course.
threw
He is.
a bitch fit when that script got leaked, and he said he wasn't going to do it.
I wonder how much of that was just PR. That's not really his game, because he's one of those guys where he can. It's like he's like Beyonce. Yeah, I just said Tarantino is like Beyonce, but Tarantino's like Beyonce in the fact that Beyonce can do no promotion, no nothing, and just drop an album unannounced, and everyone will fucking buy it.
Yeah.
And Tarantino's the same way. Like he could just like not say anything about it, anything for a year, and then be like, oh, by the way, my movie's coming out in theaters this weekend, and everyone would fucking go see it.
Absolutely.
So the whole Hateful Eight thing, like it's being leaked, I'm gonna sue like Vulture, I think it was, or I'm gonna sue all these people, and we're never gonna make this movie. And then he did a reading with all the actors, and then so it's just like it's coming together. I'm
Yeah.
excited that he's doing time period pieces.
I talked to Marquis. I don't want to read the script. I want to know about it, but like I don't want to spoil it. But Arryn said he was really good.
Yeah,
Or was it Josh Flanagan that said that? I don't know. One of them was saying he was like really fucking good.
I mean, he's a good writer.
Yeah, no, he is.
Have you seen his movies? Doing all right.
But yeah. So
That's okay. So, have any of you guys seen Enemy with Jake Gyllenhaal?
No.
It's Villeneuve. I'm going to ruin this guy's last name. He did a movie called Prisoners with Hugh Jackman and who's the kid from There Will Be Blood? Paul Dano. Is it Paul Dano? No.
abandoned my boys.
Either way.
Oh, you're talking about the kid
Can
from
Ruby
us.
Sparks.
Always the sunshine.
Yeah, is it Paul Dano? I think
that's Paul
okay,
Dano.
it's Paul Dano.
I love him. He's
Anyway,
so weirdly cute.
So the whole movie is like Hugh Jackman's kids go missing, and so like these cops are on the case, and I think it's Jake Gyllenhaal, and then like they think Paul Dano is the guy that stole the kids and like might have done awful things to them, and it looks like a really cool movie.
Talking about enemies?
What's up?
Were we talking about enemies or?
We're talking about Prisoners.
Okay, sorry.
Prisoners. And then they did a follow-up movie together called Enemy.
Mm-hmm.
If you've never seen it, it takes place in, I think, Toronto. Jake Gyllenhaal plays two characters, kinda. I don't want to give too much away in the movie, but that's a fucking awesome movie.
So there was like 3 movies in a row that did that same concept.
The Double?
Yeah. What's the
Jesse
Lex Luthor,
Eisenberg?
Jesse Eisenberg, and then I think there was another movie where it was like twins.
Well, it's weird because the movie The Double with Jesse Eisenberg is based on a book called The Double, and the movie Enemy is based on another book called The Double. Not the same books.
That's weird.
So it's really weird.
So
told me
they're doubled up.
They're doubled up. Double or nothing. But
I'll punch all of you.
But anyway, so Jake Gyllenhaal's got a new movie coming out, and the thing is, in Enemy, Jake Gyllenhaal looks like Jake Gyllenhaal that we all know from Prince of Persia and all his movies.
Fucking ripped in that movie.
In Nightcrawler, he's got a trailer. He's got 2 trailers for his movie Nightcrawler coming out. I think we have some of it, but he looks drained.
Emaciated.
He looks like tiny.
I still think he's still oddly attractive, but man, this movie looks fucked up. And I love the quote: "If you want to win the lottery, you got to earn the.
You got to buy a
money to
ticket."
buy the ticket.
He look, dude. Okay, so what would you say, Blaine? Like on a Chubb scale, 1 to 10, what does he give you?
Chubb scale? And that, Prince of Persia, 10. And that, it's like a 7.5, but if he talks to me right, like a 9.
Because if you want to win a lottery, you still got to buy the tickets.
gotta buy a ticket.
There you go.
I like the idea of this movie about this guy who like just kind of falls into the world of like media and kind of tabloid life.
It looks like one of those Rise to Power movies because like it starts out where he's like, he's coming up on a wreck and then there's like an actual crew there and he's like, oh, what is this? And then by the end of the trailer, he's got like a really pimped out ride with like a nice camera and stuff. I'm really kind of
Well,
excited
it looks
for
like
this
he's
movie.
tampering with evidence too.
Yeah.
At some point, it looks like he's oh, this
Murdered.
shot's not so good. There's a dead guy. I'm gonna move him over here so the shot works. Because like I'm all about like how fucked up media is. Like I love Network.
Yeah.
Like it's one of my favorite movies of all time. And at the time, Network was making fun of what TV and what media was gonna do and how bad it was. And it was made in the 70s. And if you watch Network now and compare it to what TV is now and like what TMZ is now, you're like, it's crazy how much of this has become
mad
the
as hell. I'm not
Mad
even
as
taking it anymore.
But so I'm looking forward to this movie.
Hey, TMZ.
I'm not sure why, but it kind of reminds me of Psycho a little bit. Like
I
his
could see that.
character.
Well,
the
yeah.
perfection aspect.
Oh,
of
He's
it.
gonna
he
have, like,
kind of looks like
Patrick
he
Bates.
kind of looks like him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I could see
he's
that.
got the whole like slicked. He's got the creep look on
And the
him.
creepy smile.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
the creepy smile and like
You're
the big
little
eyebrows
unsettling.
and the.
I will say,
Very good, Chris.
Was anyone else
Acting.
when I first heard about this movie, and if they were showing trailers and clips without even a title, it was really weird. But whenever I first heard about this movie, Nightcrawler, it was like Nightcrawler trailer official. A little bummed out. It wasn't a. I was
I thought it
a
was gonna
little
be
bummed
that
out.
too.
It wasn't an X-Men spinoff.
I totally thought that was
He's one of my
supposed to be.
favorite too.
I mean, no, Nightcrawler is awesome. Like, okay,
You know,
I
there's going to be people who buy tickets and then they show up and like, so wait,
Wait
when
a
does he get
when's he
his power?
gonna teleport?
guys, we have to do this. I'm making it known on the podcast now. We have to go to Nightcrawler to cosplay as Night. It's like, what the fuck is
What
this?
the fuck, man?
I'll still enjoy it. The poster looks awesome.
Yeah,
they do
the
that
poster looks
thing
good.
with like in Sin City where they have the glasses or the lenses.
yeah.
It's like completely like whited out.
I
or
like
something.
that.
That's a cool look.
I will say that in the new X-Men Days of Futures Past, Quicksilver definitely steals the movie with his sequence.
Everybody was talking shit about that.
Oh,
before.
but he steals the movie with that sequence. But up until that point, it was X2 for me when Nightcrawler does the White House sequence at the beginning. That is a fucking amazing piece
explosive.
of cinema.
Like intro to a movie.
Because the music's so epic, but it's like it's really well done.
Oh man, and he just like doing the foomp. What is it called? Foamping, bamfing. I don't know, but he's just like bamfing all
We'll
over the
go
place.
with Bamfing.
I think it is bamfing.
Yeah.
But there's like
Badass
smoke
motherfucker.
fucking everywhere.
Yeah.
And then the music, man.
Super good. So
What a great
X-Men
movie.
is a great, it's a great example of a good popcorn movie. Now, you probably don't know this, but there's other options to more than just popcorn when it comes to snacking. And to tell us more about it, we go to Joey Aranda. Joey?
That's the worst transition ever, JJ. Can't believe you. But anyways, I don't know about free snacks, but I do know about how about dinner and a movie, especially when you're cooking it at home. And cooking and eating should be enjoyable. But if you're busy like me or health conscious not like me, or just don't know your way around the kitchen, it can be stressful. Ordering out is expensive and gets unhealthy fast. Shopping and cooking can be tough too, and finding and coming up with recipes, shopping for ingredients, dealing with leftover produce that goes to waste. Forget it, you need Blue Apron to make cooking delicious meals easy. Here's how it works. For $9.99 per meal, they'll send the ingredients right to your door with exact right proportions with simple recipe instructions. Meals are 500 to 700 calories per serving, though you'd never guess it because they're super delicious. Blue Apron includes step-by-step instructions with pictures. It's idiot-proof, so I'm going to use it for sure. They work around your schedule and your dietary preferences. Cooking takes about half an hour. Shipping is always free, and they'll never send you the same meal twice. You'll make meals like turkey meatballs with fresh tomato sauce, Parmesan crusted chicken with kale Caesar salad. You'll cook incredible meals and be blown away by the quality of and freshness. Blue Apron, fast, fresh, and affordable. See what's on the menu this week and get your first 2 meals free by going to blueapron.com/screenplay. That's right, 2 meals for just going to blueapron.com/screenplay.
It's the choice. It's the choice of a new generation.
Hey guys, just before we move on, we have people on Twitter have been asking for the movie quote.
Oh, that's right.
So, I'm
what
gonna
is
go
the
ahead
movie
and say
quote?
the movie
We'll
quote.
answer it. We'll answer it at the end of the show. That's right. We forgot. What is the movie quote this
The
week?
movie quote today is, "Gentlemen, you can't fight in here. This is the war room."
I said that last week.
Yeah.
It's my favorite. It's my favorite fucking movie.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, you can't fight here. This is the war room. You were feeding me, Jack. Feed me, Jack.
Feed me.
Mandrake, my precious bodily fluids. Love that fucking movie. All right,
Let's
okay.
go watch that. Let's go watch that.
We should watch that soon. I'd love to see that in the big
fucking
screen,
flick.
actually. All right, so let's talk about some fun stuff. Let's talk about some TV stuff, and then we're going to go on to Face Off. We're going to face off on Face Off.
I'm gonna start licking your. every time you do it, I'm gonna lick your hand.
Okay,
Miles has started doing that to
who
me when I
here
touch
who
his
here
face.
watches American Horror Story?
I've seen.
A season and a half.
Okay, I watched the
disconnected from
first
TV.
season, some of the second season.
That's exactly
That's
what
what
I
I did. I watched most of the first season and an episode or two. To
I didn't watch any of that Coven. Is it Coven?
Coven.
the wolf.
Yeah.
I
the
want to
witch.
see that.
The witches.
The
one?
witch one. I heard the witch. I heard that whole season was like a weird goth version of like X-Men, kind of
Really?
like people with powers and weird shit.
I
only
saw
thing-
an episode or two.
The only thing I know about it is like one season they decided to do like a prequel season where everything's like early back in time.
I wouldn't say it's a prequel. Every season's different.
Yeah, they use the
They-
same actors,
yeah.
just do different scenarios. Completely.
Really.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's interesting.
It's cool.
I really
Sometimes.
didn't like the second one.
No?
I really tried to get into the second one, but it was just too far off, and I don't know what it did. But if the third one was on Netflix, I'd totally watch it.
Right? Isn't that? It's funny how that boils down to that.
The trailer for the fourth one to me looked better than
That
any of
looks
the other
great.
seasons.
So we're talking about American Horror Story just released a trailer for the fourth season called I want to call
Freak
I almost
Show?
called it Carnival, but it's
Oh,
Freak Show.
I like that
That's
guy.
Michael Chiklis. That's Michael Chiklis as the strong guy.
That's cool.
And then
Three boob lady?
Is it
Three
Angela
tits.
Bassett as the three boob lady? I don't know, might be. And then you've got Evan Peters who played Quicksilver, and he's in a bunch of the episodes. He looks like he has a claw hand, some sort of a lobster hand thing going on.
Oh, yeah.
It's good with
I was
butter.
wondering what that was.
And then I forget this actress's name.
Sarah
but-
Paulson.
Sarah Paulson. That's right. She's got the two heads.
Oh, that's some pretty
Is
good
that-
CGI.
And then and then that's always who's the lead?
The
Who's the
MC.
woman?
Jessica Lange.
What about the bearded lady? Was that
Jessica Lange,
The beard lady is
lady?
Kathy.
was
it's
that Kathy
Kathy
Bates?
Bates.
I was gonna say, he's like, man, she looks good with a beard.
She looks good with a beard.
I want to.
Yeah.
Love Kathy
I want to. I
Bates.
want a leotard, a leopard print leotard. I've always wanted one. I need to buy one.
Just gonna throw that out there.
Leopard print.
Well, I mean, it's a strong man. He's just cool. I need. Yeah, I should go to the gym just in
Halloween.
like one shave head and
Oh,
mustache.
and you get one of those actual dumbbells.
Those old style dumbbells. Well, okay, so this show looks really cool. I can't help but feel how much it reminds me of HBO's Carnival, which was like the same kind of thing.
I haven't
Yeah.
seen that.
It's the same kind of thing where there's like a freak show
ringing
and
a bell.
it's old like Dust Bowl kind of like U.S. times, and it's this kind of like weird Twin Peaks story of good versus evil. So, and that show only lasted 2 seasons. It was fucking awesome. I own them both on DVD. But I'm curious. I'm curious to see what this season's
Well,
gonna do.
What about tonally that? Because I'm not familiar with that show, but the way I don't know, the kind of the creepy horror.
Yeah.
Did it have that aspect to it, or was it more just kind of a look into the freak show?
It was definitely creepy and horror, but it was also like supernatural. There was definitely supernatural things going on, and also just kind of the lives, the intersecting lives. It's very much like if Game of Thrones wasn't so like kind of that, like Game of Thrones is very much like medieval kind of times. It's like, but it's also about storylines and like relationships. It's like that, but it's like relationships, supernatural, and like these people at a circus.
Like a lot of dynamic stuff too. I mean, with the whole priest storyline in Carnival, that's been one of my favorite shows. And I've seen AHS. I've seen the first season, not so much the second or third season, but Carnival is definitely, you were right on the money when you said that it kind of has that kind of aspect with the freak show aspect. But yeah, we were talking about it earlier when we were pitching topics for the show. How I enjoyed the vignettes more than I liked the actual trailer.
Yeah.
They just look more freaky. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
But who's the guy that does? Ryan
It's
Murphy?
the guy that does American Horror Story is the same guy that does
Yeah,
Glee.
Ryan Murphy.
Yeah.
Ryan Murphy.
Really?
Same guy.
Wow.
What?
So it's kind of like to me.
His other personality.
To me,
Right,
Glee.
yeah.
Well, Glee's always
It's a
been
Gemini.
kind of. I mean, American Horror Story to me has always been kind of a Glee version of horror, where they take things they like and they just kind of mash it up. And sometimes storylines don't you can't think things through too much. Like in the first season of American Horror Story, I remember being like, wow, it's really convenient that guy's power works for that, but doesn't work in this situation. Or
Yeah.
like, wow, they killed this electrician guy in the house, and no one's worried about what's gonna happen to his van in the front of the house. There's a lot of like loose ends, but you got to like completely suspend reality and just enjoy the story. I will say, I said this once before, in the first season, whenever Farmiga, not Vera, the little sister, that plays the Gothic girl. Like,
Yeah.
whenever you find out what happens to her, and they
That is my favorite.
Yeah, and they find her body and everything. Like, I did not see that coming at all. And I was already kind of casting the show off, being as like, oh, whatever, it's it's just fun, whatever. But that moment actually hit me really hard, and I had a lot of feels when I found out that she was actually dead within the house, and it was whoa.
I love that. I don't know what it is about just weird shit like that. The whole brain fuck when it comes to to weird things like that. Because it was gross.
I'll give it a go. I'll give it a go.
It was gross.
I'll check it out. So, who here watched How I Met Your Mother when it aired on TV or on Netflix at any time?
I saw the first season or two.
It was always kind of
Sporadically.
it was kind of a guilty pleasure for me. The same way as like, it's one of those shows that I'll put on in my house if I don't need to pay attention to too much. Like if I'm eating food or if I'm working on stuff, I'll put it on the background. I do the same thing with 30 Rock and Parks and Rec.
Parks and Rec is hilarious,
No,
though.
it's great. No, but so that's how I was for How I Met Your Mother. I'd never paid too much attention to it. But there were some episodes, like if I was sick for a week or something, I'd watch a shitload of episodes. The show got a lot of heat for its season finale. Now, Joey, sum up to us. Remind us exactly how their regular season finale was.
All right, so just FYI, guys, spoiler alert, I guess. But the way season finale ended is, so Yuafi...
Series.
Series finale. Sorry, series finale. Thanks, Patrick. So Ted actually tells the kids how he meets his mother, and everyone's all happy. And then, like it was predicted, the mother ends up dying of like cancer. So there's like, everyone's crying or whatever. And then in the end, he ends up with Robin, which is what fans like myself, like I'm a hardcore How I Met Your Mother fan, and that's how I wanted it to end. But now seeing the alternate ending, totally for the alternate ending. The alternate ending was better. But people were pissed off because they killed the mom. We wasted, I don't know how many, like 10, 11 seasons on it. Until we finally get it, and then she dies. And then she ends up with Robin, and they go like 15 years past when the mom dies, So it kind of goes, as it is, people thought that the series went on for too long anyway. So yeah, people were really pissed off about the series ending like that.
I didn't watch it when in the future when they're like, do they have like future technology?
I don't know, maybe.
They've got watches
I
that
don't
can do
remember.
that can control
Crazy
iTunes.
Just watch, Butch. No, so I hate series finales when they jump, because every episode spends its real time length,
Yeah.
And I hate whenever series finales go like, okay, well, this is what happens 5 years, and then 10 years, and then 20 years, and we're gonna jump all this amount of time, and so the reason that How I Met Your Mother finale didn't work for me is that, and it's very obvious that they wrote the finale like in season 2 because they have the two kids they talk to the entire series, and they wanted to show the fans because those kids were going to get older as the show went on, so they filmed all the segments where Bob Saget's voice was talking to the kids. They filmed all of those way ahead of time, because the kids all got older, because the show was on TV for 6-7 years. So those kids were still teenagers when they filmed it, and they wanted to show the audience hey, look, we had it planned from the start. But what they didn't take into account was that the show would change over those years. Storylines would change, and they'd add things. So at the end, they just tried to jam this ending the same way that the ending for Harry Potter,
I was gonna talk about that. Yeah, how they just the last few fucking 5 minutes.
Yeah, the last ending to Harry Potter, the afterword or whatever. I think J.K. Rowling wrote that when she wrote, I think, Chamber of Secrets, like a second book or something. So then she was like, that's the ending. I'm always going to keep that ending. But it didn't really kind of fit at the end of all the stories she told. But she just jammed it on to be like, well, I always had this as the ending. And that's how I feel How I Met Your Mother was.
I don't like that from a storyteller's perspective, and from a viewing perspective too. When a story, it's it has a timeline, and it's just that can be self-contained, but then they feel the need to go ahead and tell you what happens in the future.
Well,
so an example of this is in Dark Knight Rises. It jumps ahead from Dark Knight 8 years. And I went into that movie thinking oh man, they're in the trailer, he's in the doctor, he's all crippled and stuff. That's probably because he's been Batman for years, and and they're probably going to allude to all these villains he's faced and stuff like that. And then at the start of the movie, it's he quit right after he killed Two-Face. I don't like that. I like the idea. I like entertaining what could have happened and filling in the blanks myself.
Yeah, I don't like that movie. I don't like that movie.
Well, going back to Harry Potter, as a big fan, it's I like the idea of they have this ending, and then it's your imagination what happens next.
Totally.
Who knows what happened? Anything. But then it's no, exactly like this. We named them all this.
So cookie
these are
cutter.
Their kids. And,
cookie cutter.
So
yeah.
Star Wars, I'm kind of scared for 7, 8, and 9 because they're probably going to do that. It's you imagine that Han Solo and Leia lived happily ever after, and then they're all best friends with Luke and stuff like that. But probably the beginning where we're gonna be like finding out like some hard truths. It's like, oh yeah, like so and so had a falling out with so and so, and Lando's dead or something. That's gonna bum me out. I don't like when stories do that.
because it's like you're all these things you imagined and hoped, and it's like it kind of kills it.
So then, what do you guys think about The Sopranos? The way it ended? Did y'all watch The Sopranos?
I think it was good. Because
I watched 2 seasons of it. It's
I
fucking
think
awesome.
like you don't have to know that much of The Sopranos to know how it ended and why like it was so like split down the middle.
Yeah.
But the fact is that they didn't paint it out for you. They let you keep it. Like they didn't tell you did Tony die, because the whole time you expect people to come into this diner and shoot him up with his family, and like every couple of seconds someone enters the like diner and you hear that bell ring was the door. So you're just waiting. You're waiting for him to be shot. Like you're waiting for something to happen. And the song is "Don't Stop Believing." So like if that's not spelled out for you enough, then like I don't know what it is. Like I think David Chase did an interview last week where he finally came out and said, "No, Tony Soprano's still alive. If you need to fucking know, all these years later, he's still alive."
Oh, right. I like
so like
that.
don't stop believing. He's still out there getting in trouble, doing his fucking things. But like no, like you wouldn't want to see a show where he just got killed.
No. Yeah, I like that they like let you fill in the blanks. I don't like being told.
Totally.
I hate that.
J.K. Rowling also came out with that short little quip that, oh gosh, Rita Skeeter
that's
wrote.
right.
So not only
yeah,
did she like ended it and then showed the future, she's recently come back with more of a future, and it's kind of dark because they're real people now, and they're just.
I kind of like that little story.
Oh no, I loved it. I do.
She
but
talked
it's
about
just,
Harry and the scar he had from
Yeah.
being like he's kind of like a secret agent for the magic. I forget what those guys are
Mystery.
called.
An R.
Oh, are you talking about
yeah,
the order?
Ors.
The auras?
Yeah.
Ors.
Yeah,
But it's a bummer because it's written by Rita Skeeter, and I know it's this kind of like satirical play on media right now, but it just kind of bums you out because Rita's kind of a bitch,
I always hated Rita.
right?
I think you're supposed to. Either way, last thoughts on How I Met Your Mother was I liked the alternative ending so much better. It felt like the show, like the points, the comedy, the dialogue, the train coming at the end, the music swelling up, like the title at the end. Like it felt like a good ending. It wasn't tacked on and super cheese.
So then don't let the creators tell you, okay, so this was the canon ending.
Yeah.
You believe that ending.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I was talking to
fun with fiction.
I was talking to Joey about it.
That's the fun with fiction, though.
I was
Like,
talking to Joey about it. It's so weird in sitcoms where it's like, okay, so you have this girl that you're super in love with, that you've slept with many a times, and then you're totally cool with her hooking up and being with your best friend, and there's no drama, and then you see them get married, and then they get divorced, and then your wife dies, and you end up with this girl, and everyone's cool with it.
Yeah.
Like that's never gonna happen in real life. And you see it in Parks and Rec. Is like Andy used to date Anne. And then now they're not together anymore. But Anne hangs out with Andy and April and everyone. And you're
Because
like,
he's slowly become an idiot, and it's great.
no, but they're all kind of idiots in that sense that they all just hang out with their exes and no one cares because it's and Friends does it because it's a sitcom. But in
Yeah.
real life,
No.
your girlfriend or you to your girlfriend would be like, don't fucking go talk to them. Like I'm gonna leave. Like
this is awkward. Yeah.
This is super awkward. So that's the one thing I hate is that like everyone was just like, yeah, it's cool. Yeah, Uncle Barney used to stick it to Aunt Robin all the time, and now she's your mom. Now she's the mom.
I don't know. I feel like that can happen. While we were in LA, we hung out with my ex-boyfriend and our friends from college. That wasn't weird. Was it weird?
Miles is probably
Miles
like
is just seething right now, and I'm just the oblivious girlfriend.
It all depends. It all depends. Sometimes locations and territory can have a lot to do with that. Like if someone's like,
How bad
if
did it end?
if it's once in a while you're hanging out. To me, this is my own kind of perspective on it. But if the guy lived in town and you're like, hey, I'm gonna go have drinks with him every Tuesday, it's like
no. Yeah, that's an issue.
totally an issue. Anyway, so now that we've all gotten through our couples counseling.
yes. Wait, were we talking about that yet?
We're getting
we?
to there.
Can we?
Really quick, I just want to say Walking Dead is doing a spin-off show. It's
Yeah.
not technically a spin-off, it's a companion piece.
It's gonna be cool.
And one of my favorite things I think Reddit was saying, like, yeah, it's gonna be like Walking Dead LA, and then there's gonna be Walking Dead Miami, and then Walking Dead like SVU.
That's funny. Well, I think Robert Kirkman's still heading it, I believe. Who's the original writer of the comics. Where do you think it will be? Have they announced that? I didn't look too far into
I'm sure
that.
it'll be
It's-
AMC, right?
Well,
you
no,
mean
he's talking
where?
about the location.
No, I'm saying
because
because like this one's like what in Virginia, it's
Georgia.
Like Georgia. It's out in the woods and stuff.
I think
do you think they're gonna do?
I think it was gonna be in space.
I mean, maybe they'll do. I'm thinking they might do urban, but at the same time, that's
Urban.
fucking expensive. Well, no, it's like they got the Georgian wilderness and
Yeah.
all that shit. Like,
Yeah.
why not do a city? But then it's like really fucking pricey.
I know it'd be crazy to see it done like in a third world country or something.
You don't think it's gonna be in the U.S.?
Well,
Wow,
It'll,
I've been thinking-
it will
Yeah.
definitely be in the U.S. And and because it's so cheap to shoot there,
Yeah.
it's either going to probably be in Louisiana or Canada.
yeah, or Texas. Texas,
could-
It's true.
They could do, like,
Louisiana, Texas,
Nevada.
and California are the big
I feel like
three.
Texas is too
Mexico.
close to Georgia. Like I feel like if we're going to do another show, it's
Yeah.
got to
Yeah.
be like a totally different look.
They could do Cowboys.
Take Breaking Bad stuff and just go out in the desert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
That would be
I
hard.
wonder
to
if they're
live
gonna
through.
have an issue where they keep running into the same issues as The Walking. You know, like
It's a zombie.
I mean, it's the same.
thing.
It's a zombie movie, so they're gonna have the same. Like, oh, the zombies are
Totally.
really biting us.
They're annoying.
But
Well-
that's the human element.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing is like in The Walking Dead, it's not really the zombies that are the biggest antagonists.
The
Yeah.
zombies are the antagonists, like maybe initially, and then it's like, oh yeah,
the
then now it's everyone else just fighting each other.
Man, that comic book, it gets fucking twisted. I'm actually behind a season or two, but like,
I like how the show had like made differences in the comic book just to keep people on their toes. Like
I like that
It's
too.
Full Metal Alchemist.
like instead of
Yeah.
instead of keeping it completely like the comic book, they were like, oh, this guy that doesn't die in the comic book, guess what? Dead.
yeah, that happened. Yeah. It was like I was watching it for the first time with whoever I was watching it with, and I was like, "What the fuck? Oh my god!"
Well, I got to meet Frank Darabont at an art gallery after he left the show, and it was all kind of bummer because everyone was like, want to talk about Walking Dead, and it was like he kind of like got pushed off that show, and it
Yeah.
sucks because he made that show happen. You know, he directed like Shawshank and The Mist and all that stuff, and he was like, I'm gonna do this show for The Walking Dead. It became a really big hit, and then like I guess AMC was just like, get out of here, Frank. You know, and it was kind of a bummer.
They did a thing where they re-released the first, I think, the pilot episode in black and white.
Why?
That's
They did?
weird.
Yeah, and apparently it was really cool. I didn't watch it. My sister was like, "Yeah, it was fucking awesome." It was like what's the first Romero movie?
Oh,
Night of the Living Dead.
Night of the Living Dead.
Yeah, he was just really cool.
Well, because
aesthetic.
Frank Darabont did. Maybe he always wanted to be black and white because I know he did The Mist, which is one of my favorite movies. It's cool because Frank Darabont did Shawshank Redemption, The Green Mile, and so he did all these Stephen King not scary movies, you know. And then he finally he did The Mist, and he was one of those guys in college that he paid $1 for one of his for Stephen King's rights for a short film, and he
Yeah.
made this movie like in the '80s for one of his shorts for $1. King does this thing where he gives upcoming filmmakers the rights to his short stories for $1.
That's awesome.
So Frank Darabont's been working with King for a long time, and when I was so excited when I found out he was doing The Mist because I was like, he's doing a scary Stephen King. The Mist is fucking frightening,
Yeah.
but it was all supposed to be in black and white. They shot the whole thing in color, but the studio was like, you're not the Coen brothers, you know, you can't release this in black and white. so they were bummed out. But if you have Netflix, don't get the Mist DVD, get the bonus DVD and have that sent to you because the whole movie's in black and white. Way more frightening.
Yeah,
That's cool.
That's cool.
Because when the mist comes in, it's white and it just takes over the whole screen.
Before we move on, go watch The Mist, and then go play Half-Life. It's kind of like the
Similar.
same
The ending
I
to
thought
the
you were gonna
mist.
say go play Mist.
Well, the ending to the movie The Mist is different than the ending in the book. It's got a way darker ending.
In the book?
Yeah, the movie's got a way different ending, and I see it listed on Reddit all the time as like one of the best endings in movies. You know what I mean?
Should go
It's
see
the
The Mist.
biggest bummer.
Oh, but it's
Oh
great.
my God.
Stephen King has come out and said that he enjoys that he outdid him. That Darabont's ending is better than the ending in the book.
That's crazy.
That's a huge
Stephen
compliment.
Stephen King's also been quoted saying if he wasn't writing about murderers, he would be a murderer.
Nice.
So terrifying.
Well, Joey,
I'm
let's
strange
go.
looking for.
We're gonna move on to the movie book club of the week, or just the movie book club. Movie book club of the week is a pretty long title. We have a really great employee here that works here, Maggie Tomini, and she's gonna tell us a little bit about. Before we do, Joey, let us know about our quote. Who got it?
Our
I know what it
quote.
is. It's Doctor Strangelove, and it's yeah.
Yeah, it is. And Brandon Harrelson at B to the Dawn got it right.
Brandon
So
Farmahini. God
congratulations.
damn it, Brandon.
Nice. So Joey, let's get Maggie going and switch in and switch out.
No,
She's-
nope.
No.
Do
So,
a dance party.
Can we do a
Whenever,
fight
time.
on
so
screen?
Maggie works on Ruby, and she does a lot of stuff here.
I love her.
And Maggie's awesome. But when she found out we were doing Face Off this week, she got super excited, like a kid in a candy store excited. And she was like, I fucking love that movie. It's so awesome.
Nice.
So she's going to tell us what Face Off is, and she's going to tell us really quickly why she loves it so much.
Okay, hi. So Face Off is basically a movie where Nicolas Cage plays Nicolas Cage and John Travolta plays Nicolas Cage. So it's double Nicolas Cage, and that sums up the movie and why I love it.
Nice. Thank you, Maggie.
They should be on Maggie. But
That was adorable.
it's pretty spot on, yeah.
It was like bring your kid to work day. As she walks away and flicks me off. Adorable.
I loved explaining the movie to Miles when he came home because I watched it while he was still at the airport and getting like flying and stuff. And when he came home, it was great just being like, so Nicolas Cage, previously known as John Travolta, and then John Travolta, previously known as Nicolas Cage, and then just like switching everything up. We got super confused. It was so
It is a little bit like a 5-year-old came up with the plot for a movie, right? It
Yeah.
is a little bit like, well, then he takes his face off.
yeah.
His face.
They take a laser and then just go around.
He's a policeman.
He's a robber.
Yes.
He's
And there's a bomb.
they like suction cup their faces off. You don't even like go around.
Yeah.
You just like zzz.
Let's talk about the special effects because they're fucking stellar.
And they're practical.
And
You
all
pointed that out.
practical. All practical. That was the thing is I watched it with my girlfriend Jenny the other night, and she was like, it's crazy when you watch this movie because there's times where like it looks dated because it's all practical effects because you're so used to CGI. But they did everything, and I was like, there's nowhere in the movie where you can look at that and go, oh, that's CGI. And she was like, well, yeah, except for that part when they cut the faces off. And I was like, no, like
What?
they made doubles. They like I remember seeing a special on HBO. Like they put the hairs in their head like one by one, and they had these like body doubles that look exactly like them, and they cut their fucking
I just
faces
hear the
off.
fucking music. It's
God,
so good.
that was
But look, they
so-
like when that plane like drives into
through.
that hangar, like they did that for real. A plane drove into a hangar. They filmed that
His daughter
for
was hot.
real.
Yeah. It was fucking nuts.
That was so dumb. Oh my God. That was the dumbest thing. I can't get over the ending. I can't. So my kid died, and this guy has a kid who happens to be just about the same age as when my kid died too. Can we have him, please?
When he sees the
we
kid, he
adopt
immediately
him?
goes
Is it
to.
okay?
Can we take him
And
home?
she
He has
goes-
like PTSD. Like he starts calling him by his original
He calls him
son's
Michael,
name.
yeah.
It's like, Michael, and they're gonna
They're just
adopt
gonna
him?
borrow him.
That family is so fucked. Think of the PTSD that they're
Right?
gonna be suffering. The wife did a criminal. The daughter was like probably like almost
Bum
diddled by fucking Nicolas Cage's character.
I
Like
said it.
Daddy.
yeah, like that.
And she's like, go show him to his room. Okay.
Yeah, right.
Why
And
are
then
you
the
touching
kid
his
was like, he
face?
saw this brutal massacre of just police officers
His
and
mom
families.
is dead.
And not to mention that he's got the blood and genes of Castor
psycho.
Troy.
He also did see John Travolta's face shooting at them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
And that's
Does he
his dad.
And
now.
now
Yeah.
it's and the kid
Whoa.
try explaining to
think
the kid, a 5-year-old kid, like, look, okay,
So,
I know that you
Okay.
think that I killed your dad, but I mean,
That's my favorite thing. Whenever I think of Face Off, because I saw it at a young age. So whenever
So did I.
whenever I think of Face Off, I think of that iconic scene where the kid is listening to Somewhere Over the Rainbow.
That was beautiful.
And the fight, and there's like huge gunfight, and all the bad guys are getting murdered. And I remember I wasn't even into film when I watched this movie. I liked movies, but I didn't like film like the way I do now.
Yeah.
But I remember at a young age being like, this is amazing. Like I've never seen such a contrast where such action and violence is happening to such a beautiful song. I mean, you see it all the time now.
Yeah.
But at that time it was, and first we got to state, it's John Woo. It's his first American film. So like watching it now, there's so many traces of like Asian gunplay movies in this.
watching it now, it seems like a parody of the last
It's
10,
true.
15 years of filmmaking.
It's sad. It's sad because there's times whenever like they come out and it's so iconic and like their jackets and their shirts are like waving
he
in the
fucking
wind.
made that.
And
That's
like
why.
and the doves and the birds.
that jacket.
And so it almost seems like a parody, but you're like at the time nobody made action so beautiful.
Okay, I wanted to talk to you about the doves. The doves were over the top. They're just like, you walk through a door, fucking doves. There's a
They're in a
point.
church.
There's a point where
doing
Nicolas
churches.
Cage, good Nicolas Cage, God, this is so confusing, uses doves as a weapon. He scares them into John Travolta's face. I was like, there's so many doves. It was so funny.
Well, I kind of had my fill of John Woo doves whenever he did Mission Impossible 2. And then when I
Yeah.
saw the doves, I was like, fuck this.
gonna shoot
I'm
those
so
doves.
done with these doves.
I
Face Off 2, where John Travolta takes the face
Face
of
of
a
a
dove and replaces it to.
I really did like as awful. Thanks, Miles. As awful as the movie was, I did enjoy the Somewhere Over the Rainbow scene, and then Gregorian monks while they were all shooting out in the church. I thought that was really pretty too. As dumb as the doves were, the music that was used in that scene was really nice to me as well.
So say what you want about plot holes and just silliness in general.
Nicolas Cage walking for the choir and going,
Oh yeah, no. But Nicolas Cage is at a 10 at Big Nicolas Cage. So the thing that this movie has going for it is the fucking performances. They're amazing. Like I really feel you really feel that like John Travolta is Nicolas Cage and Nicolas Cage is John Travolta. They picked up the mannerisms, like just the way they talked, and like it was believable.
We were talking about this earlier, and you made a good point. They even like got meta, and they're like this ridiculous chin.
Yeah,
like,
John Travolta's like,
Travolta's.
you think I like being in this fat body? Look at this ridiculous chin.
Yeah.
And he's talking about his chin.
Yeah, it's funny.
It was really weird seeing Nicolas Cage in such a really perverted and outrageous role. Like at one point, in the airport, he says something like,
Suck my tongue.
"Yeah, what if I gave you the privilege to suck my tongue?" And then just goes. I was like, this is gnarly.
Yeah, and fucking Nicolas Cage at the beginning is just murdering people left and right. Like, there's this scene where John Travolta's like telling everybody to get down, and each time he tells somebody to get down, Nicolas Cage just blasts them.
There's a lot of death in this movie.
He points
Yeah.
the chick out the plane, and you're like,
He's just like, poof.
yeah, he's just like,
Or that scene when he takes the speedboat and he's just like, he doesn't tell the guy to get out. He just
He could be like jump out of the boat. He's like, it'll be easier just to shoot him.
Okay, there's two.
Oh.
Okay, for as well as the practical effects are in this movie, there's a scene that's really early on when they're having the big shootout, right when he catches Castor Troy in the airplane hangar, that you see an extra and he's running, and you could obviously see the wire on him. Like, he's got this wire and he's running, and like it's not even a shot where you need to see the wire, but you just see him running like something's gonna happen. He's obviously got a wire, and then his explosion happens, and you see him flying on the wire. And it's so, and they didn't even try to hide it.
they had some pretty bad instances where they didn't even give a fuck about the stunt doubles not looking at all like
when
the
they're
actors.
exploding and they're flying out of the boat, it's
boat?
just like, who are those guys? Wait, is this the same boat?
Nicolas Cage's hair, the stunt guy didn't even fucking look. He was like a different color and different length and everything.
It makes me think of, there's a scene in I think there was a Kiss movie. I think it was like Kiss and the Phantom of the Circus or something. But there was a Kiss movie at some point, and one of the guys that was a stunt guy for one of the Kiss guys was like a buff black dude.
They painted his face
They painted
off.
his face, and every now and then you just see a scene and be like, "That's not Ace Frehley."
I mean,
So go ahead.
I was just saying, I like John Travolta as a bad guy.
Oh yeah, he's
Like
great.
he's a good
He's
bad
a pretty
guy.
good bad guy.
Like
He
Broken Arrow,
totally.
or he's just like,
Woo! What a predicament.
yeah.
Hey, you're good looking. Or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah. You wish, like Arryn was saying, it's weird because you didn't sound like Danny Zuko, and it'd be like that'd be such a weird. Hey, Nicolas Cage. Hey, Danny Zuko. Hey, put your face on my face. Hey.
We talked about this too. It's like they transmitted the fat over.
Yeah.
And then John so they like give him the fat, the love handles and everything.
It's like, man, he has a big neck,
Abs.
and like, I can imagine someone's like, well, we're gonna have to give him more neck fat.
They give him like every fat, even
give
at
him
the end.
everything.
And we talked about this too.
when they bring him back.
Yeah, so they bring him, they're side by side. Nicolas Cage looks over to his body and he's like, "That's my wedding ring," and he takes the
I
wedding
don't
ring.
even want it back. Like, why would you make me fat
And
again?
he puts the wedding ring back on, and the wedding ring is like gigantic on him. They even put finger fat
Yeah.
into his hands.
That's the thing I'm saying. Is like, why if you have Nicolas Cage's cut body and then
He
why
was
would,
cut!
just put the face on, just put the face on everything else.
Could you imagine John Travolta's face and neck on
giant-
on Nicolas Cage's little body?
No, he's
Be like a Q-tip.
Photoshop that and tweet us those photos.
no, at the end, this is the best part too. He's like, "You know what, doctor? There's a scar on my chest from a bullet hole. You can leave it off."
don't
It's like,
need it.
leave the fat off, asshole. Fuck the bullet hole.
I don't need any more. That bullet hole wound was disgusting looking, by the
Yeah, it
way.
looked like a vagina or something
Right?
on his chest.
Vaginas are supposed to be disgusting.
Also for the ending, I thought it was like he's going through this massive surgery, and his wife is just chilling at home, and then he
Reading a
walks
book.
up. Does that seem weird to you?
There was like no recovery time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He immediately wakes
mean,
up
granted,
and goes
we're
out
talking
and gets
about
the
face
shit
off.
beat out of him in
They're
prison.
punching each other in the face. At some point, a face should have come off
Recent surgery.
because they're just like wailing on each other.
What about the scene where they say the name of the movie like 10 times in like 5 seconds?
And they
It's
keep
like,
doing this
Face off. Face off. No more drugs for that man. But yeah, no, Nick Cassavetes steals that movie as the bald
bald guy.
villain. He's fucking awesome. That's John Cassavetes' kid. He directed that guy, the bald guy with the two different color eyes. He directed The Notebook.
Whoa.
Yeah, he directed a really awful movie that's maybe some of you love. It's called Alpha Dog. Watch Bully. It's a better version of that kind of movie. But yeah, no. So he's a director.
That's
I love that scene where he like looks at the kid and he like winks
at him,
and then he picks up a fucking gun. He just blows SWAT team members
Dude, when he
away.
gets shot in the neck and he's holding like his wound in, and he's like talking, and he's like, "We had some fun times, right?" I'm like, that guy's a badass.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
So, go ahead.
What would you say if you just got shot in the neck and you have like 10 seconds? What would you?
I'd say I just got shot in the neck.
Jesus fucking Christ! It's bleeding.
Someone give me a band-aid.
Call a neck specialist.
Ow!
General practitioner.
So my girlfriend pointed out to me that Castor and Pollux are the name of the two brothers.
Mm-hmm.
That's the names of the sons that Zeus had. That are Gemini.
Oh.
Gemini are Castor and Pollux.
That's the opposite of Archer.
Oh, okay.
The
Hey,
Archer.
big bro. It's the fucking pinky thing. That
I will
was
say
weird.
the thing about this movie is that like say what you want about the plot holes, say what you want about the silliness and the fat and the body and all that stuff. What John Woo and everyone involved in this movie did really good is made you care about characters, and it really like at one point whenever like good Nick Cage is with the bad guys, like you feel like this heart to heart with these bad guys.
Yeah, he touches the chick's face.
Well, I mean, even with Nick Cassavetes' bald guy and then Gina Gershon's character, like you really start to feel for them that they're getting fucked over by the cops. And then even with Castor Troy, when Castor Troy's brother comes crashing in and bad John Travolta ties his shoelaces,
Yeah.
you get sad about the villains.
And you think Castor's gonna have like a bit of an arc, like he's like, oh, he's gonna be redemption. Like he's there at this kid's grave that he shot, and he's like, oh, he just saved this girl's daughter from being, whatever, by the fucking creepy guy in the nice ride
From
70
Raping the
show.
Grape-
from that 70s show.
yeah, oh yeah,
was
Danny
that?
Masterson.
Oh gosh.
That was Hyde.
There was this weird,
Yeah.
I don't know why they did it, but there's every time Nicolas Cage got like horny or something, he'd go like, like he just like look into the camera and be like, just like jizz his bits.
When he grabs
The chick's ass, he's like, oh.
I will say that I really love the poetic beauty of just like the shots and stuff, but also there's that scene when they're both at the mirror and they're both pointing the guns and they're looking at themselves, but they're also pointing the guns at the person they want to shoot.
Oh wow, I didn't think about that.
And so it's like,
so deep.
Yeah, man.
it is pretty deep. And I mean, there's some really good moments, like when John Travolta is excited. It's Nicolas Cage being good Nicolas Cage, but he sees himself in the mirror and he gets excited. And then he gets sad, and then he gets really mad. And then that scene when like good Nick Cage is in the prison, the space prison, and the boots. But he like he's like realizing like I have to be a badass, I have to be a villain, but I'm a good guy. I can't murder the inmate, but I got to let everyone know that I'm a badass. So you can see all these emotions on his face, like he's competing.
Off.
Yeah, I was like, you beat me too. I was like,
Sorry, man.
Really good performances all around.
All right, but there was this thing where he's like Pollux. He's like, he's like testing his brother. It's his brother. It looks exactly like him, and he's like, "What's my medicine type?" You know? It's like, no, it's your brother, you asshole.
It's like, is this a guy in a Castor like fat suit?
yeah, it's not like look at his fingers. His fingers are the same size.
I love how he's that skeptical.
He's like,
what are my pills then?
Paranoid.
Obviously, my brother.
Bro.
So good.
Oh man.
Oh man, we're gonna blow up LA, bro.
Yeah, we're gonna totally blow up LA.
Blow up LA, blow.
There's so many random quotes like that where it's just like, what the fuck were they writing?
Okay, so final thoughts on the movie. Cheesy as it is, funny as it is, there's some times where the music is really 90s and cheesy for me. There's some real times where I can't help but laugh at what's going on. All in all, I still fucking love this movie.
I'd watch it again.
I've got a boner on for that movie. It's like the fucking action.
It's so good.
the action, man.
I do think it might be one of those movies that's best watched in a group setting with drinks.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
Like
don't
The
know.
Room.
I could riff the shit out
Oh
of
no,
that
Please
movie.
watch
it's
The Room.
definitely riffable, and I had to get mad. I had to get mad at the people I was watching with a few times because they'd be like, let's watch the movie. But it is definitely like a mystery, like mystery science theater kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it's also like I don't know. There's still some heavy parts to it. Like there's so much gunfire at some points that you're just like it's almost laughable. But it's a good
almost.
movie.
Though. Like
It's
the
a good
dual
movie.
wielding, and then they're just like dropping weapons and picking them up, and
So we like the movie.
fuck yeah.
Awesome.
What's a good? Okay, help me find a movie that's just like Face Off. Audience, tweet this in that I haven't seen already. Like I want to see an action movie that has that awesome gunfights and stuff.
Oh,
Because
okay.
I was like, the entire time I was watching, I was like, holy shit, this is cool. So if you have an idea for a movie that's like Face Off,
Gone with the Wind.
screenplay, hashtag screenplay.
Equilibrium.
I hate both of you.
So-
Dances with Wolves.
So Joey, let's see. We already did the quote. So okay, that's right. What am I forgetting here? Oh,
movie
that's
one,
right.
movie two.
Oh yeah, what movie are we picking this week? What did we get most voted? Was the really good film centric movie or the scary movie? What do people want to watch?
Movie number one.
Movie number
You
one.
didn't go for
number
poop.
one.
You didn't go for number 2.
Awesome. Okay, so the movie you didn't pick was called The Bay. It's a really scary movie by Barry Levinson, who did Diner and stuff. It's a found footage kind of scary film. It's really cool. It's on Netflix. It's got no stars. The reason I don't think it got a wide release or no one knew about it is because he wanted it to be realistic, so he didn't cast many people. He didn't cast any actors in it. So, but it's like told from dash cam footage from cops. It's told from security cameras. It's told from like iPhone iChat conferences and stuff. So it's this weird approach to it, but it's fucking frightening. So that was the movie you guys didn't choose. So the movie for next week that we're going to be talking about, it's a film masterpiece, beautiful music, amazing acting, great shots. I'm an oil man. You know what I'm talking
There will be blood.
There will be blood.
There will be
We were
blood.
recording that earlier.
I know. It's like
Abandoned my boy. My wife abandoned my child. All right.
that's a
So
That
horrible,
movie-
horrible
so
Daniel Day-Lewis.
it's on Netflix. Go check it out. There Will Be Blood by P.T. Anderson. Probably one of my favorite, if not my favorite director. You're gonna fucking love it. The first 15 minutes or so, there's no dialogue, and it's amazing.
That was the worst Valentine's date I ever went on.
Whoa.
Mine was Daredevil.
Oh, that's
Don't
just
do
a-
that.
I mean,
yeah.
it's a great movie, but
Yeah.
don't go see
dates.
There Will Be Blood.
Don't go on
that
dates.
or Irreversible.
There Will Be Blood's great, and I hate to like put a damper on it, but man, did No Country for Old Men get snubbed at the Oscars that year.
Well, because those movies were so similar at that time, it was hard to
No
like.
Country for Old Men should have gotten it.
No Country. They're both good in their own. You can't compare them. They're their own different movies.
Yeah, There Will Be Blood is pretty solid.
So
Though.
everyone, go watch There Will Be Blood,
Do it.
and it definitely comes through on its name.
Yeah.
It definitely has that.
Is there blood in this movie?
I'm done.
I'm finished. All right. So the question of the week before we end the show: what is your favorite movie soundtrack? And if you're watching at home, feel free to tweet us or in the comments on YouTube. Let us know what your favorite movie soundtrack is.
We had to preface this right. We can't do anything with John Williams. Otherwise, it would just be any John Williams movie.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if that's your, I mean, that's. I mean, I didn't. It can be score or soundtrack. I don't know. That's tough. Let's go with soundtracks this time around. I'll do score later.
Well, fuck. I was gonna do score.
Okay. Go ahead.
Tie between a big budget and a small budget. Tron Legacy with Daft Punk.
It's good. It's a good score.
Fucking awesome, and they should have got an Oscar. And then on a smaller scale, Cliff Martinez and Drive. I thought that was pretty good.
That's a great score.
Yeah, and then it was also really good in that piece of shit that the director put out the next time. What was that? The same cast. and everything?
Only God Forgives.
Only God Forgives. Yeah. Also a great score.
Yeah, another good score. What about you, Chris?
Well, I'm gonna do my favorite John Williams. And I'll do-
you asshole.
Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, I would say Star Wars for John Williams if he gets his own category, and then I don't know. I was thinking maybe like Eternal Sunshine.
That is a good soundtrack. Or score? You mean the John
Just
Bryan
soundtrack-
score?
yeah. Or-
Yeah, that's really good.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna go. Let's see. Score wise, I love like Road to Perdition. It's got a really great kind of piano kind of thing going on. Geez, I don't know. I have it. I want to say Paul Newman, but I know he didn't do the music. Soundtrack wise, I'm gonna have to go with Kill Bill, man. Like, I mean, I love that soundtrack's fucking awesome. It starts off with Nancy Sinatra, then the country music and all that stuff. It's super fucking awesome. Inception's also a good score. I mean, I've so many
Hans
scores.
Zimmer's
I have
awesome.
so many scores downloaded, you know. But
Scores: Hans Zimmer, John Williams, Jerry Goldsmith. There's just like so many fucking good composers.
score wise, the Donnie Darko score is really good too.
Oh, yeah, it is.
And it's all like simple piano. And the guy that did that had never really done piano. He was a guitarist, and David Kelly, director, or there's Richard Kelly, was telling him like, I want it to be piano. He's like, I don't do piano. He's like, well, figure it out. So since he didn't know piano, it's really minimal, but it's like spooky and kind of creepy in that sense. So that's a really good score.
Aaron, what's yours?
Aaron?
I don't care if I'm mispronouncing his name or not, but I love Baz Luhrmann films. I love The Great Gatsby. I love the Moulin Rouge, Romeo plus Juliet.
The boys.
Like all of his films have really, really fantastic soundtracks to me. I have all of them and I love them. I wear
Gatsby was
to
pretty
them.
fucking good.
It was great.
Yeah.
Like they got some really good people. I love Lana Del Rey. Her like spooky voice.
Everybody hates Lana. I love
love
Lana.
her.
She's
I
got the
love it.
coolest like sultry voice. It's, yeah.
She's definitely grown on me.
Yeah.
Well, we've reached the end of our screenplay. Everyone, let us know where we can find you on Twitter so we can people can follow our tweets. Blaine, you are B Gibbles.
At B Gibbles.
Chris, you are.
At Chris Demarais.
At Arryn Zech.
And I'm Jose Jones Films. We'll see you guys next week. Don't forget to watch There Will Be Blood. See you next time here on Screenplay.